All right, welcome back to another edition of Sling Bang Gaming.
Hi
Who I
guys.
got here? I got Blake online.
He wakes up all night, buddy.
What's up?
Just surviving through insomnia, like always.
Surviving through insomnia. All right, so we're doing a couple different things here. One, I'm trying to test this whole Skype connection thing, trying to see if this thing is going to work while I stream live. Why I have satellites pointed at Jupiter to make sure that it redeflects back from the moon to go to my mic headset. Then it goes back to Jupiter again. Then it hits Blake when he's flying by an asteroid, trying to make sure it's up. We already got some people up online. I see X-Wing Pro says, I'm first. John Best says, to answer your header question, you go to regionals. All right, dude, you really need to sleep. John Phillips says, I don't need to sleep. What are you talking about? All right, so I got Blake online. Hopefully you guys can all see Blake. Um, Pandemic 270 says, Blake, it was nice to meet you yesterday.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I was about to say there are a lot of people there that I met yesterday. They were amazing to meet.
All right, so we just did a video. We were testing a lot of different things. So we're actually going to post up a video of your regionals recap. But I'm going to post up as a separate video. I was going to do a stream. I didn't think this was going to work too well, but it looks like actually it's working real well right now. So we might do this in the future. But since we already recorded the regional recap as a separate video, we'll post it up later. So this is actually a question that we got. And I got Blake on here because he just went to a regional. Actually, Blake goes to a lot of freaking regionals. Blake is, that's why we haven't officially announced it, but he is on Sling Paint team. So it's no longer just me and Nims. It's me, Nims, and Blake. It's three of us. Three's a
Yep.
crowd, but it's all good crowd. That's why we love it. And so Lunas de Luna says this. He posted this up on our Facebook, and he says, "Hey guys," and Lewis is a great fan follower. We love seeing stuff from him, and he really is to the community. He's been doing a lot of X-Wing here and there, but he's nervous. And this is what he says. He says, "Hey guys, I'm thinking about going to my first regional. The regional is in Minneapolis at the Fantasy Flight headquarters next weekend." He says, "I'm nervous as hell and not sure if I should go or if I'm good enough. Am I being stupid? Any advice or words of encouragement?" I'm just going to go stay right before Blake because I know Blake just went through this and he's going to give you the lowdown. He's going to tell you what to expect to Regis. And we also have another video talking about, with Nims and I, talking about going to tournaments. I think it's in our flight school video, so if you look at that. But right off the bat, Lewis, go. Are you crazy? You need to go. Go experience this, man. It's fun. It's awesome. It is nervous. I'm going to tell you every tournament, even if it's a local stall tournament, the first two rounds, I am like this, right?
Mm.
I try to hide my jittery. And I think it is because it's anticipation and you're trying to figure out, am I going to do the right thing, this and that. So I still get nervous going to these big events. So it's okay to be nervous. I think anybody's human, right? If you're human, you're going to be nervous,
Mm.
right, Blake? Do you agree?
Yeah, it actually reminds me of myself before I went to my very first regional back in this past May.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember I came back to Parker. You remember this list because you helped me make it better before the regional.
Oh yeah. I remember this. Yep.
And I was just sitting there just trying because I wanted to go. I wanted to go experience this and see all the different things that I could learn from. I went there the first time. I had no hope of winning. I did. If,
But I mean, don't go if you're going to your first regionals, right? And if you're going to like your whole like I'm gonna beat everybody. I'm gonna do this. Now, I'm always a big believer. You do have positive thoughts,
yeah.
right? I remember my first regionals. I said I'm going to do 3-3. I want to do, I would love to go top something, the top cut. But if I get 3-3, I'll be really happy. It means I'm 50% in the middle of the ground,
Mm.
in there. So I'll be happy with that. But but just go to have fun. And I always say to learn. You go to learn and experience it because once you get one underneath your belt, going to a bunch of others, it's the same exact thing.
Yeah,
You just
that's what happened to me.
different lists.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I just went. I learned from the first time. I was kind of seeing what other people were doing,
Right.
and then I went. I just started going to more and more and more local tournaments, and I eventually started organizing them because I wanted more.
Yes. Yeah. True. Um, what about uh, like what to expect? What do you
You're,
think when you first get there? Like, what do what was your original first time? What did you expect? Were did you expect something? Did you expect not to do something? Or like, for me, like I expected that I was gonna goof up and make some mistakes just on rule cards and what have you. And I found out somebody told me just let your opponent know that you're a new person, that this is your first regionals. Even tell them if you're a little bit nervous. All right, just
mhm.
say I'm a little nervous, and it's my first thing. I mean, they love it. I mean, they'll help you, right? I think the
Yeah,
community will help, right? I mean,
yeah, the community will help. I went there. The only expectation that I had was I'm just coming here to learn, and I'm gonna try to make some new friends.
right.
That was the big kicker for me, was just trying to meet people in the community and start getting some ties in there.
Hmm.
So that was very big for me at my very first one. It was so much just about learning.
Right. I agree with you. I think um, when you go to your first event, well, for
That's it.
one, let's break it down here. So one, we talk about lists, okay? So whatever you go about lists, I mean, there's the list itself, whatever you're gonna bring to the tournament. Don't bring something new that you have never played. Bring something that you have played several times. Even if you don't think it's a top meta list, you'll be surprised on how well you do
Mm.
with not top meta lists, with a list that you've played over and over and over again.
Oftentimes, the lists that do the best at any tournament, doesn't matter if it's your local tournament or even a national tournament, it's those weird lists that no one saw coming.
Right.
Those are
And
oftentimes the ones that do the best.
but just make sure you've been flying it a little bit. Even have a couple games underneath you that you're comfortable with it. You know the mechanics of your list. You're not going to forget stuff, and
Mm.
keep it simple too with your lists. I remember some of our first tournaments. My first tournaments was my first store match was the early versions of my baby blue list. Almost a year and a half ago was the first version of my baby blue list.
Actually, I
And
was hearing a story about you. I think it was you at Be There Games. You were running three Onyx Squadron Defenders. You or Nims.
okay, I think
And
I've flown a three Onyx Squadron Defenders.
I remember because Jacob was talking about this. He was talking about the first time he met you, and you
Oh
were
my
at this
God. Oh wow. First time I met Jacob. Yeah, I was flying the three
trip.
defenders. Yeah, that was me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I went in there and I loved him immediately because he was flying defenders.
Yeah, well Jacob and defenders is like peanut butter and jelly. But go with the list that you know. That is key. Make sure you go with the list that you've flown a couple times. Um,
Don't
also, what do
don't
you recommend?
fly. I'm recommending that you don't have to fly super meta list. If you go in there with a list that you're having fun with, that you know you're gonna do
Right.
fine. It doesn't matter if you go. Doesn't matter the record of the day as long as you had a good experience at the event. That's worth every penny.
Right. And if you're flying a meta list and you've been flying it for a while, that's okay too. Go with it. Go with what you know. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, but it doesn't have to be a meta list. If you're flying four T70s like I did, and you take them to tournaments, this and that, I had more fun flying my four T70s, the baby blues, because it was simple. I didn't have to worry about mechanics and I just had to worry about what my opponent was going to do, where he was going to fly, and my ships were really simple to fly
Yeah.
and as long as I keep them in formation.
Yeah, my very first turn, my very first tournament was that old Narrandantels, Dutch Vander, and Horton Somme.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
Okay.
all I had to do was just fly in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
It was really just the era of simplicity there.
Right.
I get the two torpedo shots off on there, and then from there I can just leave her in there to do her dogfighting, and the other two are just flying in a circle like hawks.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So the next thing I agree, as far as your list that you're going to bring, and this is more of a prep, right? When you go there, right, just keep in mind everything is timed. So you're not going to have time to lollygag And in between matches, it's very regimented, especially big regionals, and especially one that's going to be held at Fantasy Flight headquarters. They're going to be very regimented. So when a match is over, when time is called on the match, you have like 5-10 minutes between the next match. So if you got to take a piss, take a shit, whatever, all that other fun stuff, any bodily other features and functions and stuff, make sure you go knock them out first in that 5-10 minutes. And if you get your match done earlier, so keep that in mind. So from expectation perspective.
Actually, I'm trying to grab something for visual representation because I highly recommend these Plano cases here that are right behind me in my hand.
Okay.
I have a little one that I take with me to every tournament I go to, and
Oh, you're talking
there,
about like a tournament tray, like a little
yeah,
box or a
like
tray?
this guy.
Yep, yep.
That'll help you with your setup time.
Yeah, I do the same thing with my stuff back here. Hold on, I got some.
That'll help you immensely with your setup time in between matches because they're only going to give you like 10, 15 minutes tops between the matches. 10 minutes at best.
Yeah,
So you want to,
this is my box that I use. I use
yeah,
that with the template holder and the card holders. Have something like that, or even if you got a coffee table tray, those work too, right?
yeah. I came in with like a Tupperware container. I just threw everything in there and went on to the next table.
All right, a couple questions before we go on to the next thing you should do at tournaments. Joshua Wicker says, Blake, is that a snuggie?
And no, it is actually it's actually a very specific name to this blanket. It's from South Africa. It's like made out of South African sheep wool. It's the warmest thing I've ever had in my life. It is awesome.
And he says it's cold in his room. He just got into his house and do that. So it's not a snuggie.
No,
All right.
not a snuggie.
So let's do this.
Thank you for watching, Josh. By the way,
Say it again.
thank you for watching, Josh.
Oh,
Hope your little girls had fun in the snow yesterday.
yes. They let's see here. John Best sound like he had said amazing to beat, not meet. Pandemic says dinner at B Dubs was awesome and glad to see you made it safe. X-Wing Pro says I have 3 old ties in one event. Should I get a Phantom or an Interceptor? Get both. Geek Things Podcast says congrats. Where is it? Okay. Pandemic says went to my first regionals yesterday, sucked out loud, and still won 2 games. Round 4, I flew off a full health ghost off the board. Well, we know how that actually. But I think Blake, you've done that at regionals.
Oh my goodness!
Wait, but I'm not going to bring that up as far as like with the details. But so that kind of lies and segues perfectly into my next thing. If you're going to regionals, don't worry about sucking. Okay, I remember my first regional. I was on the last table, right? Because they count the tables in order when you're doing Swiss rounds and how they figure it all out. They rank you to players that you're ranked with, and when you're ranked, right, and let's say you're losing real bad, you get ranked towards the bottom of the list, and therefore the last table. And usually the tables are marked like table 1, table 2.
Yeah.
The higher people are at table 1, the people that are not doing too well are at the table 62, whatever how many people are there. And I remember one of my first regionals. I think I was 0-2. My first 2 games, I just got bamboozled by 2 medalists.
You were a little upset about that, eh? Because you
were out the last table.
You were outside, just kind of sitting against the wall, like, man.
Yeah, I was at the last table, and I knew I was at the last table, and everybody could see that I was at the last table. But if you are worried about sucking, don't worry about it. Just go and have fun, even if you're at the last table.
If you really
just have fun.
If you really want to be positive, just think of it as 6 guaranteed games of X-Wing.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. And if you play if you get some wins, let's say if you're 1-1 or 2-2, the best part about it is you're playing guys, right? You can kind of see where you are in ranking. And a lot of people are like, well, my list was horrible, and I was playing my list, and my list sucked. 9 times out of 10, even if you have a decent list and it makes sense, right? You can go 3-3, 50-50 in the thing, right? And still be good. So don't worry about sucking unless you're just making a lot of mistakes. So that goes into my next thing, right? Go ahead.
Or if you're flying 6 Hawks, then you have to worry about some things.
Yeah. But the next thing is if you don't do well and you feel like you're losing and you not feel like you're having fun, Well, guess what? Then you might need a little bit more practice. So then switch your brain mode from being competitive to taking these, like you said, Blake. These are 6 X-wing matches that you're playing, that you paid to go to,
Yep.
and you're going to learn as much as you can. And that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's what I did yesterday when I realized, okay, I'm not making the cut here. Let me just learn as much as I can about this list.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that I would go to, or other thing I do from a regionals event, you're going to see some of the top players. You're potentially in the first round, you may get paired up with some of the top players.
Like one of
Okay.
our own here got paired up with Jeremy Howard, first round
Yeah,
of
I was
Worlds.
at Worlds, got paired up with Jeremy Howard. I'm like, oh, good, okay, this is going to be very interesting. But it happens, right? You might get paired up. Just they they put their pants and underwear on the same way you do, one leg at a time. Okay, so just be respectful and courteous, right? Just and play your game, and don't worry about their game. Just play your game, and you'd be surprised. Sometimes you might beat them. Sometimes you might, Nims. I think Nims beat Jeremy, right?
Them's beat Jeremy, yeah.
And then you lost to Jeremy. I lost to Jeremy. But I actually took that as a learning lesson because some of the intel that I got from Jeremy when I was watching him play, I was able to share it with Nims and everybody else and said Jeremy had a kick-ass opening maneuver for his Palp defenders, and I was basically saying what he did. And Nims modified it and actually helped Nims to get into the, into the top 16, top 8,
Top 8, yeah.
top 8 at Durham. So learn. That's my next thing. What would you
And
be?
learn.
What would your be next thing if you are a little bit nervous going to regionals?
A little bit nervous. Yes, I'm trying to think because I've gone to so many of these events now. Because you're going to have some butterflies in the first round. The biggest thing to do to get over nervous is to have something to drink. Like
Hydration.
Hydration. That is the most helpful thing you can do for yourself all day long. Even if you just have a water bottle there, it can be used as a stress ball if you really need it. You can pick it up and play with it.
But it's so true. You're going to be on your feet. You're going to be standing all day long. Excuse me. Just know that you hydrate. You can bring a couple little snacks with you, and they maybe have a lunch break or bring some honeycombs that he's showing right there.
This was what I was eating all yesterday.
Honeycombs?
Yeah, I had a box of honeycombs inside my tournament bag, and I was just snacking on them during the matches. I'm like,
Nice.
look, I'm not being disrespectful, but man, I gotta keep some energy up.
What you call it? The other thing I would do is when you do go there and you're playing, one of the things that I noticed is there's there's times where, like, if you're playing in the middle of a match, right, and you make a mistake, or you bump another person's ship, or you do that, that happens when you're nervous, right? I mean, think about it. You're nervous, your hands are shaking, and accidentally you bump a ship. Or you can do me and break your own ships. I don't know how many T-70s I broke. I have, like, a whole box full of broken T-70s because again, like I said, every tournament, the first round or two, I'm usually nervous and I'm moving my ships and my fat fingers will bust a T-70 right off the pegs. If you move a ship or bump a ship or do something with the tokens or move a rock or whatever the case may be, again, if you tell the person up front that it's your first regionals and you're a little bit nervous, they will work with you. They're not out there to kill you. This is not like World Series, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, your bases loaded, and you got to get at least one run in to win the game. You're there to have fun. That's what it's
Yeah,
all about.
that's what all any of us are there for, is to have fun. That's why I keep going to these events.
Yeah.
I've been to 3 this season.
Okay. The only other thing, where is it? The post. So you're going to the other cool thing that you're going to regionals at Minneapolis and Fantasy Flight's headquarters. Let me tell you, their headquarters is state of the art. I love their facility there. They got some gourmet food. I don't know if it was just for Worlds, but I heard it was like all year round. They also got beer there. So the cool part about X-Wing, after 3 or 4 games, you start losing this and that. Guess what? It turns from X-Wing to beer wing. right? You can crack open a frosty brew and you're playing some X-wing and you're having fun and you're relaxing and you don't have to worry about things. The facility at Fantasy Flights is extremely clean. You're going to see all the game. Usually a lot of the game designers are out there, so you'll see everybody out there who works on X-wing. You're also going to see potentially them going to broadcast. I'm not sure. Usually Team Covenant follows up a lot of Fantasy Flight stuff. I'm not sure who's actually be broadcasting for the regionals in Minneapolis next weekend, but you're going to see that. You're going to see their whole stands and how they set up. Again, it's an experience. Go there and enjoy the moment. Go. I call it the mecca of X-wing. That if you play an X-wing, you want to go there at least once to be where they actually play the games,
Mhm.
design the games, and all that fun stuff.
Also, I've heard that their cafeteria is amazing there.
Oh, the food is phenomenal. The food is phenomenal. I had like one of everything on their list between the 3 days that I was there, and it was delicious. It was great. You gotta love it. Um, the other thing, where is it? My notes. So the whole thing about not sure if you should go or if you're good enough. So the first part should go. I think we kind of covered that. You got to
We've
go.
covered that. Just go. If the second part, if you're not good enough, it's tight competition there. It's normally a top 16 cut. Not everyone's going to make that cut. You
Right.
go in there. You just go in there and you're like, hey, I'm here to play X-wing. If
Yeah.
if whatever happens, it happens.
So yeah, and I agree with you 100%, Blake, because the biggest thing that I tell everybody, we get this with a lot of newcomers to the thing. Like I remember these two guys at a local shop, right? They kept on coming every Thursday night. I was at Parker Bannon. They kept on coming every Thursday night, and they would see us playing, and they saw our videos, so they knew who we were. And they got there like, oh no, I'm like, hey, you guys want to play a game? And they're like, oh no, 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 we don't want to play a game. I'm like, why not? Oh well, because you guys play in tournaments and this and that. I'm like, no, we're here to help you. This is how the community grows.
Yeah,
These guys done it for me when I first started. I'm gonna pay it forward. And let's put some ships on the board and have some fun. And I'll help you through the rules and this and that. And they're like, oh no, no, don't worry about that. Everybody's very open. All the top players are, like I said, Worlds was great because I get to meet all the top players there, and they are again cool as hell. They were great
yeah,
people.
most X-wing players are really cool people to talk to. 'Cause they have. And at the end of the day, if you lose the game, you can ask, hey, what could I have done
Yeah.
differently in the game?
Yep.
What you just drill the other player with questions if they're open to it. Always ask, obviously, if they want to answer the questions.
Agreed.
But just
Absolutely.
ask them questions, and they'll probably tell you, hey, there was this turn here where you could have done this. Or like Jeremy Howard did to me yesterday. It's like he kept on slamming the K-Wing away, so I was just switching to target lock with the Mega Leader to the one that could shoot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I caught that. I kind of felt that was wrong, but now I know that was definitely wrong.
Agreed.
Just ask questions.
Yeah. Just ask. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. Because Jeremy knows, I know, Paul Heaver knows, all these people that the top, Blake, myself, anybody that plays the X-wing game. In order for a game to survive and keep going, you have to have
Mhm.
players. We were all newbies once. We all played this game in the beginning, and we all were learning, like, what the hell's a barrel roll, or what the hell's a boost, and what is this token? I mean, we were all been there. So, if it's your first tournament and you're not sure if you want to go because you feel like you're new, screw it, go. I would still go, even if
I
you're
would go in
brand
a
new. Like,
heartbeat.
yeah. All right, so I'm looking at some of the live stream here because we do a lot of our stuff live.
I was actually also
Um,
checking that out here. I've got it up on mine.
Oh, you do? Okay. Pandemic 270 says another regional tip: don't have 3 Jaeger bombs at lunch.
That
I would agree with that, or don't even have 3 Jaeger bombs before lunch, or after lunch, or any time during the day. A beer or two, like to calm you down, to relax. I'm not promoting beer, this and that. Though we could take sponsorships for beer, I'm game for that. But what I'm saying is,
our email is located on the website.
yes, exactly. Beer me. Um, the funny thing is, I actually don't drink a lot of beer. I drink a lot of different things. But anyway, when I do drink, actually, I don't drink that much. Um, but a nice cold beer, just take out and relax. Don't get plastered at the event. This is not like
They'll
Drunk Fest.
try to maintain some kind of
Composure.
composure. Be professional. I mean,
Yeah. All right. Geek Things podcast says good advice, no drinks, drinky. Okay. Pandemic says one of my local players, round four opponent did that. That's what happens. Um, Pandemic 270 says I've been playing since November 2015. Yeah, Pandemic has been doing a lot of posts and comments on our videos and what have you. Some people are complaining about lag. The stream looks streamy.
Yeah, I'm watching it too, and it hasn't really looked like it's been lagging.
Yeah, it's
Unless
been
that's me
pretty
keeping my
strong.
head super still.
Now you're looking good. Feeling good, Lewis. All right. I keep a bag of Gorp and trail mix in my bag and a refillable drink bottle. That's from Rob AGD. Agree with that 100%.
Totally agree with that.
Um, I'm
And
trying to read other things here.
one more big important tip:
Got.
get enough sleep the night before.
Oh my God, that's so important
That
because
is
your
the
ass will
most
be dragging after like the second or third round.
like that. I stayed at a hotel every single regional event this year,
hmm
and even if they're not the best hotel, my God, that bed is amazing.
hmm Oh yeah.
Like just get yourself a good 8 hours of sleep. Wake up, do your morning things, take a shower, make sure you're good, you look good, you smell good, all that, and just
If you look good,
go.
you feel good. When you feel good, you
Exactly.
play good. Plain and simple.
It is that's true actually because
It
if you
is,
go in
yeah.
there, if you feel good about yourself, it's psychological at that point.
Oh, absolutely. Wes Blackwell says, Berto, I watched your show and learned quite a bit. Shout out to y'all. Thanks, guys. Wes, no problem. Pandemic says, my tournament snacks were a box of 100-calorie walnuts and almond packs and an 8-pack of little bottles of water. That's a nice setup. Yep.
That is
Definitely
a
good.
really good setup.
Rob AGD says, talk about some nerves. My second regional event, first match with the new list was streamed. Oh, so that does happen. Okay.
Yep.
If you
And,
get picked to be streamed, it takes like the pressure level from here to like here.
and yeah, of course, they give you the option to decline that as well. Remember that. You
Right.
could always say, "Look, I'd rather not play on stream," and they'll most events should respect that.
Yeah. I had a couple times actually at the Carolina Crates. My match was not streamed, but it was recorded.
Hmm.
And one of the things that everybody's like, for me it was fine because we do recorded matches all
Yeah,
the time. But some people do get a little bit nervous with that. So if that ever happens, yeah, absolutely don't just you can request not to be. I like it because you get to learn from it. You get to see,
oh yeah.
oh, I should have done this at this turn. That's why everybody's like, oh, we love the matches, this and that. Just as much as important the matches and stuff are for you guys, it's also for us to learn from. I
I,
mean, that we learn from our own stuff.
I remember that's why before I became a member of Slim Pit, I would always be wanting to get on the stream, just
Just to get the
because I could
recorded of the
watch
matches. Yep.
I could watch it afterwards.
Oh yeah. Joshua Wicker says, I made some awesome friends at regionals. Don't be afraid to talk to people you don't know. Most of them are really cool. 100% absolutely agree
My
that
goodness, yeah,
you're going to meet a lot of cool people there. And they're all
yeah,
talking about the same thing that you love, X-Wing.
yeah, and Star Wars too.
Yes.
That's the even better part. Like we were having a discussion about Star Wars Rebel ships at one point. It was amazing.
I agree.
Because we're like, are we going to see the Phantom too? And I'm like, please, yes.
Right. Rob AGD says talking to Joshua, says, yeah, I had some great conversations with Paul Heaver, the Howards, great community. Absolutely agree. Reese W says, the only way to get good is to play the best and learn from that. I learned that when I was a kid. I used to be in high school. I think we all been in high school, some way, shape, or form. In high school, I used to have the foosball table, right? And for junior and senior year, I used to be able to play the foosball against some of the best teachers that played all the time. And when I first started playing, I was horrendous. But of
Mhm.
course, playing them, I learned a lot. So I agree with this statement that if you play better players, um, and you're cool about it and you're casual and you don't and you let them know that you're new and this and that, they'll work with you. And I think, and Blake, tell me if I'm wrong, I think a lot of some of the top players love having Padawan learners, for lack of better words, right? They love
Oh
taking
my
somebody
goodness.
underneath the wing and helping them, right?
Yeah, that is 100% agreed upon. That it's nice to it makes you feel good when someone comes to you for a question or to get your opinion on something. That makes you just feel good.
Yeah. It's not. It's again. It's not secrets. I mean, as long as it's after the game and
No,
after the match, yeah. And
if
if
it's
you,
during the match, I'm not going to answer. If it's during the match at a tournament, I'm probably not going to answer that question.
yeah,
After
if
the match, I'll talk about anything.
yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the thing. So if you do ask a question, and just be prepared that people will decline to answer if it's during a tournament. But afterwards, I'll say like, if I'm not gonna, so let's bring this up afterwards because I would love to talk about it afterwards. But during this, I would kind of like to, play this out. Unless, if I'm really doing well against my opponent, then I might
Mhm.
say something. I mean, but if
Yeah,
it's neck and neck, I'm not going to. I'm going to play a tournament.
yeah. Unless it's an open rules question that I know the answer to, then you
True.
have a
Right.
right to know that
Yeah,
answer. But
absolutely.
if it's something specific about a mechanic in the list, it's something that I'm probably going to be quiet on until after the match.
Absolutely. Seamus even says, "What's up, Seamus?" Says most of us will give advice if you ask. Absolutely. Pandemic 270 says whether or not if it's good advice or is not up for debate. Seamus
This is
says
true.
yes. Seamus says, and when new, most of us will help with missed opportunities. So, what's a missed opportunity? It's if you forgot to do something, like forgot to take an action, or whatever the case would be. I always like to say, look, I'll give you a couple. I maybe give you one depending on your play style and who you are and what have you. But after that, it's game on, and you should have remembered because we're playing a game and it's a tournament, and the whole of the tournament is about remembering your cards,
Yeah,
remembering your actions and what you can and cannot do. So yes,
and I ran into that situation in the league play that I was playing in the night, playing against the older gentleman Rudy actually,
yep,
and
Rudy.
we love Rudy in this area, and
Yes, Rudy's an
I
awesome
was
guy.
helping him out because he's Rudy. I was helping him.
Rudy.
Yeah, it was Rudy. I was helping him out with this list, like trying to remind him of his fire control system and stuff. But it's a casual league. In a tournament setting, I would not have done any of that for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's you got to think about it like, okay, if I give him this information in this tournament game, will it actually come around to cost me the game? But I mean, the most important thing is to have fun, obviously,
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
don't go in there being just a rules lawyer about things.
Mhm.
Some people generally forget, like, hey, did you want to take an action or do anything with it?
Mhm. Mhm.
Or hey, you have fire control system.
Oh yeah. Um, Reese W says, being new to X-Wing, haven't had the chance to play in any tournament yet, but had played against at a local store a couple times, and I'm glad I went and enjoyed it. It heaps, and every Tuesday now that's my thing, and I love it. So, yep, I agree with you.
That's where I started on Thursdays, and now it's most
Every
nights.
day, lucky shit, Jesus Christ.
I know, I know.
No, so one of the reasons why we brought Blake on was because he plays a crap load of X-Wing. Two, but he also travels a lot and he does it on his own accord and what have you. And he's a great person for the community. He does a lot. He does a lot of our events here and stuff, and we just love his awesomeness. So we want to make sure he's part of our awesomeness, and the two awesomenesses collide and they
Yep,
become
collide.
great. Um,
You guys don't understand. I play literally 5 or 6 nights a week.
yeah, it's insane. It's actually pretty insane.
It is.
I live through him. He plays all the X-wing for
Yeah.
me.
I play enough X-wing for like 4 or 5
Oh,
people.
absolutely. Like I said, all right. So Joshua says, "Don't drink and fly." Yes, drink casually if you want to. If you want to crack a beer on a hot day, absolutely. But yeah, don't get plastered. Pandemic 270 says no connection here issues. The stream looks good. I'm not sure if it's something else. Father knows best says love the trading spaces line. Awesome. Feeling good, Lewis. One of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, I love those movies, those old movies. All right, Geek Things podcast. I'll get my hair did. Seamus, love flying my Ghost dual attack shuttle. List streaming at the 2015 WH Street Regionals. Nice. Rob AG, this is the funny part. Was I asked Aaron if he was sure he wanted 4 TLTs on the stream. But you know what? That's
Someone,
okay. I would like everybody thinks like, oh, 4 TLTs, like how cool is that? But 4 TLTs are nasty, especially in today's meta. They can do a number on ships today.
it's like a
They're coming back with a little bit of a vengeance there too. I've seen them.
little bit of. There's a lot of things coming back. It's so
Oh, the
interesting.
meta's
See,
all over the place.
that's another reason you need to go to regionals.
Oh, that's the one thing we probably didn't cover when we talked about that.
You're gonna see a completely different meta than what you see at home.
Interesting.
You're gonna see like here. What would you describe the local meta here in this Charlotte area, Berto? Like
Oh my
what
God.
what would you
Some
describe
palp
it as?
defenders, definitely.
Mhm.
Ghosts. Um, um, a lot of scum villainy like party boat shenanigans, Asajj, party boats, things. Probably that ish.
Yeah. So at Macon in Tennessee, it was a lot of bombs,
Really,
lots of bombs.
because
Some
everybody wanted
man
to go against those defenders and take out the defenders.
some man list, lots of help defenders. That was it. That was like
True.
a good 90% of the tournament was Mana Link, Palp Defenders, bombs.
We should have mentioned that in our video that we're gonna post up here. I totally forgot to ask that question.
Yeah.
All right.
You're going
So
to see a different meta, and you're going to learn something. You might find a play style that you love and want to practice that for your next regional or your next tournament.
oh yeah, and the other person actually asked. I love asking people if I could take a picture of their list, right? So I take a picture of their person's list and say, hey, do you mind if I take a picture of your list? And I take a picture of the list, and that actually allows me to learn from it. So I remember you can't take notes, which I'm so upset about because I love used to taking notes on my X-wing lists.
Mm-hmm.
But I like taking notes where I could figure out, okay, I played this list, I remember some opening moves, and sometimes, depending if it's not in the regionals, but if it's a local store tournament, I'll actually every starting round, I'll take a picture of the match if I'm not being streamed or whatever
Actually,
to learn.
there is a loophole to your note thing, by the way. You can't take notes during the game, but you can take notes before and after the game.
True. Yes. So if you wanted to capture stuff, yeah. Reese W says, "Sorry, Berto. I want to be Blake's Padawan. Now he plays more. I'm his Padawan. Damn it. He's taking me. I'm his Padawan. He can only have one Padawan. Damn it. Reese, you're
No,
out of
that's
luck. He's all mine. He's my Jedi.
not necessarily true, according to some comics and fiction.
That's true. Yeah, you can have two. Yeah.
You can have several, actually. I think Yoda had quite a few,
Yep.
but Yoda's also
Nathan.
old, so.
Yeah, he's like 900 million years old.
Mhm.
Nathan Wilcox said 4 TLTs are just boring as ASF to watch. I agree with you. It can be boring. Um, Sean Kinnard says, I'm a huge Star Wars fan and didn't buy into X-Wing when it first came out because I thought it would fizzle out with the new content. Now that there are a few new movies, I feel like it's going to go long. Oh, yeah. I'm like, this game's here to stay for a while.
Yeah, at least, as
But-
long as they keep making Star Wars movies, they'll still have X-Wing around.
Oh, they're going to create new content and what have you? Oh, yeah. There's going to be so much stuff here. It's going to be crazy.
I don't even want to think about what this game's going to be like in 10 years. That's.
All right, and last but not least, here I see Seamus says I'm making a 4-Hawk TLT list as we speak. Hey, I saw 4 Hawks. Was a Scum Hawks that took that one of the System Series opens, if I remember.
Find a way to put expertise on the because I found out that's the only rebel ship that has a turret slot that has a natural EPT slot is the Hawk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Jan Orris and Kyle Katarn can totally have expertise and totally start doing things.
Oh. But then you lose if you're not to get the focus token. Jan Orrs' ability, you lose, right?
Well, Jan Orris is the take a stress to allow another ship at range 1 to 3 to add an attack.
Which one's the focus one? Is that Catan?
That's Kyle.
Ah, okay. All right.
You can tell who plays more.
Exactly. See what I was saying? That's why I'm his Padawan. Blake has went through the Jedi Master Trials, and I'm his Padawan learner now. All right. So let's do this. We're gonna wrap this stream up, but we just wanted to get. It was a mailbag question. That's something that Lewis wrote. Again, he's talking about his first regional. He doesn't know if he wants to go. Put in the comments below, guys, because I'm gonna forward this video to him saying, check out all the comments below. Definitely give him some words of encouragement because he definitely is gonna. It's gonna be nervous. I'm honestly, it's your first
There,
anything you do. You're gonna be a little nervous,
there are
but
some
just go out
nerves
and
going
have
through.
fun, Lewis.
Mm.
Right? All right. Anything else, Blake?
Nothing much. Just if you guys have any more questions and you want us to answer, feel free to send them to us to the Sling Facebook page. You can send to us on Twitter, on our website, Instagram, Twitter, however you want to send them to us. We'll answer them.
Yeah, the best way, honestly, probably the easiest way, and most, if you can, post on the website. There's a section that says video topic ideas. Put it in there. There's a whole form. We'll try to get to them all, and we'll post it up there. All right, Blake, hang out for a little bit after this is done, and that's it, guys. If you guys like what we do and you want to see more, subscribe to our channel. The link is actually definitely below, right over here somewhere. Also, if you like this video, give it a like. Also, leave some comments in the description below. Help out Lewis, make him feel good, make him go to this X-wing regionals, and wish him some luck. Also, if you guys want to help support us, tokens, T-shirts, all the links to below to our stores.
Hmm.
Check out our Patreon account. Check out all our other good stuff down there to help support us, keep the lights on, literally, and do other things and help support Blake to go to more regionals to get some more content because we want to send this guy to a lot of different places because he
Yep.
can play X-wing 42 nights in a week.
Yeah.
And but
Every regional I go to, if you guys are there, I'll probably have tokens for you guys too.
yes, we are outfitting Blake on a secret mission. He's going to be our token ninja. So we'll
Yeah.
try to give out some. You know what we should do? Instead of SPG tokens, we should get like actual like different reminder tokens. Like
That's what I was about to suggest, like Palpatine, C-3PO,
yeah,
Kanan,
so like do
all those
like
guys.
a run of those and give them
I
to
might do
you.
that. I might throw a Palpatine at someone eventually.
Okay, we can do that. I love giving away tokens. Um, Seamus says, "Hey Lewis, check this vid. We answer some questions for you?" Yeah, right. That's all I think we answered a lot. And again, Lewis, make sure you have fun. Blake, you good?
Yeah, I've got everything I can think of. Just have fun,
Yeah,
bring
just have
snacks.
fun and enjoy it and go. Who cares? Yeah, your nervous will be there for like one or two rounds and then you'll be gone and you'll be like, this is like normal stuff.
Yeah. If you have to do what I do and stress eat.
Just stress eat honeycombs. Yes, we're gonna be
Yeah.
promoting honeycombs and going forward. And honeycombs and water. Make sure you hydrate. All
Mm.
right. If you guys have any questions, again, leave it in the comments below or visit our community forum and post up on the video topics area for us. Blake, always a pleasure. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Not a
Have a good
problem.
night, guys.